Hey, hey, hi there, everybody. This is Crystal Williamson, and that's right. We're here for Small Changes Are Huge. It's tax day in the United States. And yep, that's right. It's April 15th. I always acknowledge the date. And I just want to say to everybody, we'll talk to you about what happened before we got here. Mercury is not in retrograde, but it really felt like it today. I'm so happy everybody's here again. Small changes are huge. And what we normally talk about is if you make one small change in your life and take one small action every day and commit to it, watch what happens. And I am business coach, I'm Reiki master, I'm a geek, although I wasn't a geek a little while ago, at least I don't think I was. I don't know how incredibly helpful I was to my guest today. But yes, I am a geek, computer trainer, and a business coach. I help you transform your life. Crystal Williamson. So again, Wednesday, April 15th, 2015. And we have our first guest today on the show. And so, yep, you saw them for a second. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about our two guests for today. And I'm very excited that they're here on the show. This is my first time doing this with people on the show on live, and you'll see them. And yep, that's Annie Gambina. She's a coach. She's a comedian. She's also a trainer. And she's a writer. And also we have Wally Collins. He's the founder and CEO of, and you know how you pronounce that? You never know. And Wally, I must tell you, all New Yorkers talk like that. So people in the rest of the country might think, what's going on? But yes, all New Yorkers talk like that. It's funny. Don't tell my mother, I still say Long Island at times. My mom was born in Long Island. So I'm so glad you're both here. And we had several snafus, didn't we, guys?
Yes, we did.
Several.
But you know, we're still here, and we're here to talk about how small changes are huge in both of your lives and where you've got to where you are. And I want to tell everybody a little secret. Annie, is it okay if I tell everybody our little secret?
Go right ahead.
Ooh, okay. Annie, remember, guys, I mentioned to you computer trainer. I'm a computer trainer. Annie was one of my managers I had last year. So she knows everything about me. Well, not everything, Annie, but... So Annie and I always kept in contact, and we found that we were not only trainers and lovers of technology, but we're also both coaches, and that extended on to Wally. So I'm glad you're both here. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. So Annie, why don't you start? I gave you a little intro, but tell us a little bit more about who you are.
Okay, my entire career has been in education. I was a high school math teacher. Then I helped companies switch over from manual to computerized bookkeeping. And my favorite job then, hear the siren?
Yes.
My favorite,
you can tell we're in New York, right?
In New York, loving it.
Yep.
So I was a prevention specialist in a school district. So I taught all types of social skills and conflict resolution and anger management and that type of thing. So for years now, I'm working in the IT training industry. In the last couple of years, I wanted to grow my life coaching business with some workshops. So I took a stand-up comedy class because I was always cracking jokes all the time, but I'd go off on a tangent, I'd forget what I was talking about. So I took a stand-up comedy class to help me, and I stuck with the comedy. And now I'm also getting back into doing workshops. So that's a little about me.
Cool. Very cool. And some of that stuff I didn't know. I didn't know you were a high school math teacher. I think you deserve an award for that.
Really? I agree.
Wow. I don't know if I could ever do that. So, hey, welcome, Wally, and tell us a little bit more about yourself. I've seen a couple of your videos. I was laughing out loud at work, by the way.
Good.
You almost got me in trouble.
Good. That's the whole point of it right there, to make you laugh at work. Try to get you fired. That's my goal. Well, a little bit about me. I'm left-handed. I love apples. Let's see. I love watching The Walking Dead on Sundays. That's too much of a little bit. I'll tell you, be more specific about what we're talking about. So yes, I am a stand-up comedian. I started out as an architect, believe it or not. And I was talking with my mother one day, and she said to me, if I could be anything I wanted to be, what would it be? And I said, well, I'd love to be an actor. And she says, why are you designing buildings if you want to be an actor? And I said, well, I come from a little town called Springfield, Massachusetts. No one famous ever came from there. And she said 3 words to me: you never know. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I guess you never know unless you try. So I really didn't know where to start. She suggested stand-up comedy and parlay that into a acting career. So at 5 o'clock, I would get in my car and do stand-up comedy someplace in New England. And I started building an act, and I got better at it. So I moved my act to Boston, and then I got a call for Comedy Central. I was the first host, the first African-American host on Comedy Central. I don't know if you knew that. And and I kept that mantra: you never know unless you try. And I had a lot of success with stand-up comedy. I guess one of my biggest things was that I did a show with Michelle Obama, and that went so well. I got asked to host an event with President Bush, with ex-President Bush and President Obama in the same building, which is a very rare occasion. I hosted that, so it's kind of cool to say, you never know. And so I kept you never know as a mantra, and I shrunk it down to one word: you never know. And I started a website to encourage people, because I realized that's the key to happiness if you're living your dreams. Mm-hmm. So then each week, each Monday, I would write a blog. And then I realized that I could publish a book with those blogs and call them encouragements. And so I wrote the You Never Know Book of Encouragements, and I signed with a publishing company. The book hit number 8 on Amazon in the happiness category. And that's pretty much it with You Never Know. So here's the interesting thing. I was teaching her comedy class, and she wanted to book me for a comedy show, and we got to talking about self-help and empowerment and being inspired and all that. And I said, we should work together, because at my company, You Never Know, and you were like the guru of workshops, and she's all about being positive. And so boom, we got together, and here we are wearing the same t-shirts.
I know, those t-shirts are great, by the way, and it actually spells out.
I can hook you up.
You never know. Yes, baby. Are you kidding? I want one.
People, I'm just saying, I can hook you up.
Okay, I bet you know somebody who knows somebody. I bet you.
People.
And Wally, tell us your website. That's why I was laughing so much at your website. And Wally's also got some great videos on YouTube also. So tell us your website.
Now, my comedy website is wallycollins.com.
One L.
Right, WALICOLLINS. Mm-hmm. And that's where you see my stand-up. But youneverknow.com is where you get all the stuff you never know. We have wristbands. Show your wristband. We have wristbands. We have hats, T-shirts, all those things we call them motivating devices. Anything that gets you motivated and gets you to live your dreams. Go for it. Live a regretless life.
Absolutely. And it's funny, because most of the people that listen, that follow me, that I chat with, they really have a lot of difficulty getting started. And,
right.
and you and I were talking about this too. It's like sometimes you just want to kick people in the butt. Just start. Just do something. What do you say to those people? Both of you guys.
Go first.
No, you go ahead.
What happens is, I believe that, and it sounds so cliche, but it is in my book, talking about taking that first step. What happens is that it's the fear of going into the unknown. It's the fear of success, really, because once you go into, now you're in an area that you're not familiar with. So that's very, very scary. So if you put an obstacle up there, now you have no reason, you have a reason not to go for your dream. And so a lot of times what we do, the fear of being successful, we'll put our own obstacle up and say, oh, see, I can't do it. Oh, well, I wanted to, but I couldn't do it. But that's just something that we just put up in our heads. But we can definitely knock that out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You made me think of, how I'm big with quotes. There's a great quote by Anais Nin. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to bloom. And that's absolutely so true. When you're kind of, sick and tired of the pain of just staying the same, you're going to freaking change. Even if it's one thing. Absolutely.
True. very true. Change. I mean, it's inevitable. As you get older, you know, your likes and dislikes are going to change. You know, even your taste, and you know, even your taste in music. You know, literally your taste in foods. Things are going to change, and people don't realize that you change no matter what. You change, and some people try to stay the same and try to, you know, stick to what they know or what they're used to, whatever. But you're definitely going to conform. You have to, you know, like I said, because you get older and you're just going to change.
That's right. Your circumstances change, and the ones that don't go with the flow, those are the ones that are in the most trouble.
Yeah, they are, and it's so interesting because it's so much harder to try to stay still or try to stay in that same place. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. In that cocoon, it's so impossible. It's almost like you as you grow, because you learn things too. You're in this cocoon and you just feel trapped, and that's why I think the frustration happens with people.
Absolutely. And Annie, you and I were talking about, Annie knows this, guys. I love butterflies. You know this too, Annie. And we were talking about the caterpillar and the butterfly. And, you know, with the caterpillar, it's funny. One of my Small Changes talks a while ago was about if, you know, the caterpillar thinks it's the end of life, it's new life for the butterfly. So, you know, you never know what's going to happen.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
Absolutely. I know. So Annie, coincidences. Tell me a little bit about some coincidences that you've seen. I know you have one with Wally. Are there any others in your life that have shown you like a path to change?
Oh, well, certainly Wally. Recently getting involved with Wally now with the workshops absolutely is a big one. But, that's an interesting question, coincidences. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I have to. I feel like I'm on the spot. What coincidence?
No, I'm just curious. I know Wally's definitely one. I'm not saying that I know something that you don't know. I just was wondering.
Oh, well, give me a hint. Do you know of one?
No, I don't know of one. That was just like intuition that was, you know, that was wrong this time. So.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, talking about, you know, taking small changes, you know, if I think back over my life at different times when, you know, as you say, it winds up being a small change that does wind up turning into something really big. But if I think of an example, when I ended my first marriage, right? It literally came to a point where, you know, I couldn't have stayed a day longer. I couldn't have left a day sooner. And as you were saying, you know, it's so in that moment, it's that decision, all right, I'm going to switch from here to there. And then that just sets you on an entirely different path. But up until that point, you know, I've always been someone that has been very committed and, you know, that don't want to make a major change like that, very impulsive. So that certainly would be one area where what would seem like a major change really was just in a small decision, which is one of the things Wally and I were actually talking about, right. Or choices.
Right, choices.
Yeah. So tell me more about choices in your discussion you were saying.
We were talking, well, you know, once again, it's in the book. Yeah. In the workshop, we're going to be talking about choices. But in the book, I basically say that, you know, no matter, you know, as you become an adult through your day, you know, people take it for granted. You make the choice of getting up out of bed. You know, you make the choice of, you know, brushing your teeth. You don't have to, but you make that choice. You make that choice of what you can make that choice of what do you want for breakfast. You make that choice of, you know, what clothes you're going to wear. Mm-hmm. Everything pretty much is a choice. And people don't really understand and don't see that life is all choices. And so you can choose to change your life. You can choose to take a left turn instead of a right turn. Obviously, you can choose to take the stairs instead of the escalator. You can choose to have a salad instead of pizza. All those things, you can choose to do those things. And if you start small and really recognize those choices that you have that control of making those choices, then you can start to go a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger with your choices and being conscious of the choices that you.
Absolutely. And it's funny, a lot of the people that follow me also are doing stuff with their weight. And it's funny, when you said something about you can make a choice to choose salad or pizza, and I was thinking, I don't know if I could do that. But sometimes
pizza.
But no matter what, you made that choice.
What other choice would there be? And it's funny, if out of the 10 times that I would normally choose pizza, maybe if 2 of the times I say, you know what, I'm going to have a spinach salad.
Right.
You know, it really does make a difference. Then one day you have a smaller piece of pizza and maybe a salad on top. It really is very significant when you, there's something that happens in the body, both physically, mentally, spiritually, that when you make that decision and you actually freaking do it. So it's about doing it.
Right.
And take that action. That's when the path, that's when the energy starts. That's when the positive things start coming towards you. It's like, oh, I took the salad and then I met Wally at this comedy place. All these things like that.
It is. It really is. It is that simple. And, you know, like people think that it's, you know, it's a big jump, it's a major jump, it's a major life change. It is so simple, you know, and you start out with the smallest thing. And believe it or not, making that choice is, as you're looking at the menu, you're like, that's a choice right there. And when you decide on something, you know, the grilled chicken instead of the, you know, the lasagna or something like that, that's the choice you made. Which is just that fast, just that quick. And I really think that people should need to celebrate that they make that choice, that simple little choice, you know, to go for, you know, if they want to go for that healthier way or going for their goal or dream, celebrate the fact that they made that choice.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the questions I had for you guys, because you guys have gone on some amazing paths to bring you here today. So when you do have bumps in that, you know, when you're going towards your journey and you can see the summit, but there's bumps that are in the road, what do you do? And I want to hear from the both of you too.
I feel like hogging. Go ahead.
Well, I really very quickly think about what I have to be grateful for, because that list is monumental. And there be times, you know, when, you know, I get sidetracked for, you know, I don't want to talk about divorce again, you know, where like things don't wind up going exactly how I would have wanted. And it would be really easy to just start to, you know, have it be, you know, like define myself or something. So what I do is really like in the moment on any given day, like when I'm walking to work or whenever I'm doing, I focus on things that are pretty or beautiful or relationships I like, or I go out of my way to be really nice to cashiers and that type of thing. And it really just winds up making me so much happier and lighter.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To piggyback what she's saying, I really think that, you know, when you start to feel that way, take inventory of all the things you have in your life. And when you start thinking like the simplest things, like, you know, you're able to take a breath, you know what I mean? You're able to hear, or you're able to chew, or you're able to do those things. You start those small little things, and then you appreciate the friends that you have in your life, the family members, the last time you laughed, you know. When you start thinking things like that, and as they grow, you start putting yourself in a better mood and put yourself in a happier mood. And then it kind of like just spirals from there. Like, oh yeah, I remember that time. Oh yeah, I remember that. And by the time, you know, you see yourself laughing or giggling or whatever, you're out of that gloom. You're out of that doom.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's funny, when we had the craziness with technology earlier, you guys were saying some wonderful things. We were all trying to hear each other. There was some audio problems, guys. There was some technical problems. But all I kept thinking is, I'm so excited there's 2 people on this thing, you know.
It was crazy.
Oh, it was crazy.
Crazy. But we literally are on our 4th computer, and you and I tested it Sunday and earlier today.
Yes, absolutely. And stuff like that happens. It's technology. I love technology, but it happens, you know. So, right. And the bumps will occur. Anything will happen. And just like little things, like I have a friend who went to a job interview, and she wanted to make sure she was there a half an hour earlier, and the subway took like 20 extra minutes, like 25. She got there 2 minutes before her interview.
Wow.
But luckily she breezed right through security. She got upstairs and the person wasn't back from lunch. So it actually worked out all well. And she was, of course, a little nuts. Who wouldn't be?
Right.
you leave a half hour earlier to get to a place, you think that, now what am I going to do? And it was one of those days, remember when it was rainy? So like, now what am I going to do? For a half, I can't like sit in the park. So she, like, just like you said, Wally, she kind of turned it around, and then things just started snowballing.
Right.
And what's even funnier is she didn't get that job. She got another job, but it was just hilarious. She, when you change your attitude, it's very simple. When you just talked about that, it's just very, very simple.
Right.
I mean, I really learned to, when I get, when I say I'm triggered, I recognize to trigger myself into something happy or into a positive thought, rather than, so when something happens that would normally maybe throw me off years ago, or, now I'll recognize it and be like, how else can I spin this around? Like, how can I look at the positive side of this? And it's just winds up being a habit to the point where that's how I naturally do things.
Right.
Yeah.
People will literally ask me, like, are you happy all the time? And I mean, of course I'm not, but I'm happy a lot. Very happy a lot.
Yes, yeah. She is. She's happy a lot.
She is. I've worked with her, so I know. And there have been times, Annie, remember one time in the old building, there was a problem with the plumbing?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think she remembers, yeah.
Yeah, but then I got to the building. I know. I got to I was at another location. I came there. They said, the plumbing's working. And I said, what did I miss? And everybody told me. So
yeah, should we say what exactly happened on you? I don't know.
No, I'll just say, let's do our imaginations. I told them, guys, I told them that cursing is fine. You can say anything you want, but that might be, past the edge of, whatever. I'm sure they could use their imaginations, but
I am my imagination. I have to say, ugh.
Yeah, right. That's what everybody was doing, and it's funny because bumps will occur. And Annie, I like what you said about once you realize it, once you know, then you recognize it, and you say, "Oh, it's one of those things that trigger me." So I know what I need to do. Guess what? It worked before. I'm going to do it. And sometimes it doesn't work in the moment. Anything can, maybe it's not working exactly right now. But yeah, absolutely.
What I recognize in myself, though, is if for some reason I really can't, if something's aggravating me or I feel much more irritable or something's triggering me, that I'm not like able to like say, oh yeah, turn it around. I'll literally like go through a checkpoint with myself. Have I eaten? Did I get enough sleep? Did I not give myself enough time for something that I needed to do? And when I look at those things, I mean, it really just zooms right into what the solution is. And I wind up like not being a victim of circumstances. Life is going to come at us, right? Point blank. So it's how I'm going to handle those things. And if one day I was having this conversation with Wally yesterday, walking through a busy street in Manhattan, it's like, oh yeah, right, everything's fine. Running late for my train, all of a sudden, I have something to say about all those people. So it's really, so if I'm aggravated, it's got nothing to do with how crowded that street is or not. It's got everything to do with the fact that I just didn't give myself enough time to get where I was going. Or at least say, you know what, I'm running late, so if I miss that train, I'm going to stop at the next one. I'll stop and have pizza.
You hear any of that with the siren?
I can hear the siren, and I just want to say, everybody, what Annie was saying, just sometimes when you walk down the sidewalk in New York, it's fun. It's like, oh, New York, it's all like this. And then suddenly when you're late for your commuter train, it's like, oh, it's New York, I can't stand it. So it's like, it really depends on where you are in that space. But then, like, just like you said, Annie, it's turning it over. You're turning it over in the moment.
Yes, it's all about her.
Right. It's very, very true. It's very, very true, because things will happen. And you know what? We're human too. So, sometimes you get like you said, Annie, it's like, you get angry. Things happen. And now I got my ambulance out here. Guys, remember, I live near a hospital, so every once in a while. It's funny. It's normally quiet around here.
Well, that's always the case, right? Exactly.
Ain't that the truth? I think Mercury and the moon maybe are just like next to each other.
Astrology, but while we were doing all this stuff, I'm like, where's Mercury?
I
know. She didn't say that.
Where's Mercury?
Right. No, Mercury,
people say Mercury
retrograde. It's just funny. It's just funny that this is that
it's there now. I think it's there now.
It's very true. Very true. So guys, so yeah, what else are you? So you guys have something coming up soon too.
Our first workshop. Official. Yep.
Nice. So tell us more about that. I know a little something about it. I'm very jealous. It's in Long Island. I'm sorry.
Well, that's where I'm from, Long Island. Yeah. I don't even have to try to say it. That's the way I say it, Long Island. The official way.
Right. Yeah. Right. Very official.
All right. So what we've done is taken a few of the encouragements out of Wally's book, You Never Know. Okay. We've taken some of the encouragements and crafts as well work together. Some activities that will literally help people do what I had mentioned earlier. When some type of situation's going on, train yourself to be triggered into happy, right? So that's why we're calling it Recognizing Happy. So at the end of the workshop, people will have a few new awarenesses, a couple of skills, a few little triggers to be able to not quite go off the deep end, let's say, as much with the stress. So it's April 29th. 29th.
29th?
Yeah, the 29th. Well,
okay.
It's a Wednesday night.
Right.
28th, you have a gig.
Yes, right.
He's playing drums on the 28th.
That's right. That's right. You're right. That's a whole other story. But go ahead. Finish.
So, all right. April 29th, right. 7:30, the Belmore Bean Cafe in Belmore, New York. Did I have to say anything else? Oh, it's free. We're not charging.
You said a time.
7:30.
7:30. Yeah, 7:30
p.m.
7:30 p.m. And when you show up, you get free wristband. Huh?
And Wally and I might be wearing our matching shirts.
Probably.
You've got to wear your matching shirts.
I think it is. It's better on her than me, though.
Well, I put a necklace.
Yeah. That's really, it's because
she embellished a little bit, but it was really nice.
So this is cool that you're doing something, and I'm so, and it's free, guys. It's free. This is amazing. Are you gonna, so this is live. Are you going to kind of record it maybe for something else, or?
What Wally and I are going to do is literally make online training. So we'll be doing live workshops, we'll be doing webinars, we'll be having, I'll have some online activities that people will be able to do. So we're going to create self-paced and or, teacher-based training. So that's the end goal. The workshops is out there. We're going to start to work on the exercises, kind of tweak them. And we're making You Never Know like a whole, whole tool, all tools and resources, tools, not twos. Tools and resources that people are going to be able to take advantage of.
We're going to make it a movement. We're going to definitely make it something where people can come to and it'll be solid and concrete. And they're saying, you know what, I'm going to find this stuff out because you never know.
Yeah. And I say take it on.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And it's funny because that's one of the reasons why I started the Small Changes Are Huge, guys, because I want to start a movement. You're like you. I'm almost tired of hearing people say, oh, I wanted to read a book. I wanted to write a book while you did it. But yeah. I know people, and I've heard of people wanting to write a book for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And they still, it's so much money. Oh, it's so much this. I got to do this. It's like, if I hear one more BS excuse.
But you know what?
Go ahead. I'm just saying, if you commit to one thing, do it. Annie.
Right.
I know. Sorry, I kept cutting you off. What I find very interesting, though, is even if you make a decision and you're going for a new goal, whatever it is. All right. So, and we say try, right, which almost kind of feels like, oh, maybe I'll fail, maybe I wouldn't win or whatever. But one way or another, because you're moving in a certain direction, you might wind up going off on a different tangent. You're still taking actions. So whatever it is that you're doing, you're going in a direction towards change. Like, for example, when I wanted to do workshops as a life coach, I was realizing, like I said, that I was going off on tangents. I was forgetting what I was talking about. I didn't do that tonight.
No.
I failed. Anyway, what was I talking about? So I was like, and cracking jokes, and people were hysterical laughing. And I'm like, no, I don't think I'm really that good at this, because if I can't remember what I was talking about, I took a stand-up comedy class. Never in a million years, when I started to come, working with to become What was I saying?
Comedian?
No.
What,
the workshops for life coaching.
Right.
Did I ever think, I like stand-up comedy? If you said to me you could do stand-up comedy, I'd be like, out of your mind. Sure enough.
Right. Right. She's a good student, by the way. Yeah, very good student.
I still tell him stuff that he taught me. Remember you taught me that in class?
Yeah.
That is great.
You gotta talk.
All right, I'll talk.
Go ahead. Wally.
Yes.
Oh, microphone. I mean, alarm.
Yeah, no, it's the horn. Car
Horn.
horn. So we missed what you said. Say that again.
No, I was just gonna say, Wally, you were gonna say something. That's all I said.
No, I was waiting for the question because she said I'm talking. She's doing all the talking, so she wants me to talk. I figured ask me a question and then I'll just talk.
About anything.
Anything.
Which is true. Which is very true. How are you going to incorporate that earlier? So I do have a question for that. How are you going to incorporate like your stand-up comedy into your workshop that's happening on April 29th?
Well, what I do, I make the workshops fun. When I do stand-up comedy, I definitely make it engaging and sin. I try to make it feel like we're all in my living room and we're just hanging out, having a good time. And so I use those same principles when I do presentations for it. You never know. We're at Wally's house and we're just talking about being happy. So these workshops are going to be on that same kind of genre, the same kind of rhythm or feeling. Is je ne sais quoi. It's just that, you know what, let's hang out, and while we're hanging out, let's talk about, you know, getting happy and holding on to that happy. And so people are having fun, learning, retaining stuff, and when they leave, they're going to leave encouraged, they're going to leave happy, and that's one of the best things. You go into a workshop that's for free, you get free wristbands, and you're going to learn how to recognize being happy. I mean, what could be better than that?
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. I love that. I love that. And it's funny because that's one of my kind of core philosophies. I have a couple, and it's like, if you're having fun with what you're doing, then it's not work, whatever you're doing. You're changing your life. Changing my life is work. It is.
Right.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot of steps, but you know, if you're laughing about it and just having some fun, then it ain't work anymore. And then it flows a lot better. It really does flow.
It's so true. Yeah. Yeah. If you're coming from a happy place, you know what I mean? It's just that it becomes funny, or now you incorporate things into your happy. And, you know, that's what we're going to do. We're going to basically, you know, have people leave and hopefully they'll hold on to the happy as long as they can, you know, and, you know, when they get into the cars, when they get home, you know, when they go to sleep at night and get it going to work or start their day the next day, somehow, some way from Andy's teaching that they're going to, you know, find a trigger to get into that happy place.
Absolutely.
They'll leave with tools.
They'll leave with tools. You know what I thought of before, and I when you were talking about choosing between the pizza and the salad, yeah. What I've also learned is, if in a moment I do wind up going with, you know, to make the pizza salad thing, I just kind of own it. Like, you know what, I'm going to enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
I am, you know, so to not make it so heavy and significant.
Right.
I think that's another big thing that I've learned to do as part of being happy, or the small changes, just like drop it, like don't make it be such a big deal. Mm-hmm. Until I have to put my bathing suit on, then all of a sudden that might.
But you're in the moment. Whatever you are, you're in the moment.
No, you're right. I'm in the moment right now.
Yeah, right.
Not in the moment in the rest of the room in May.
Yeah, right. Don't think about bathing suits. We got to start thinking about bathing suits in June.
You when you try on your bathing suit from last year?
I skinny dip.
Oh.
Ah, great answer.
Molly.
You know what? I was thinking that, but I didn't say it. So thank you for saying it. I was thinking that
Did I skinny dip?
No, I would just do that.
No, I any place I go, I don't put on bathing suit. I'll go into a public pool naked.
You will not.
I'm kidding.
So answer the question.
I was going to say, we would have read about you by now, Wally.
No, there's some places that's fine to do. Answer the question.
What's the question?
When you put on your bathing suit for the first time and for the summer season, does it bother you? You're happy? You're content? It's fine?
Well, I have to be happy with it because.
Oh, good answer.
Because I'm in that moment. I'm understand or get mad at like what I didn't do or whatever. Like, no, if I'm not happy with, or I feel I need some change, whatever, I'll make the change. But I put it on like, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, my right foot.
I know he's there. And you know what? If no matter what you do with your life, this is a great way to kind of tie things up. Thank you, Wally, because if you, whatever you do, right, well, this is the way it is. I got my bathing suit on, the bulges are here. You know what? I'm going to walk out there and I'm going to be confident. And guess what? Things happen. Things still happen in a positive way. Really.
We're having a traffic jam there. We just had a whole symphony of horns going on right now.
It's okay. It's okay, guys. And you know what? It's funny, Wally, you were talking about, you know, you want the workshop to be kind of like, we're in Wally's living room learning something. This is the same thing with these hangouts that I do. I want this to be just a couple of people talking about something and moving ahead. You know, so I think that's very important for people to learn and to find out what's going on. So guys, do me a favor, email me, Annie. Email me like a link to your workshop and also a link to You Never Know, you guys. Send me that link. And what I do, everybody, just to keep everybody aware of this, whatever links I have, like the PowerPoint and your You Never Know website, information about your April 29th workshop, I put all of that in the comments in YouTube.
Yay, comments!
You know what's really interesting is that, and I think we manifested this, is like, you know, this, we definitely want this time to talk with you, and we opened the window to bring some cool air in, and I think it's like, hopefully there's no traffic, but you know what? We have like a fire truck rolling down, you know, 7th Avenue, you know, so, and traffic.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But you know what? We really talked about a lot of great things today. You know, we talked about a lot of great things. Getting through those bumps. You talked about your journey up to now. We talked about, you know, living through snafus and just staying in the moment. And that's what we all did today, even with the technical stuff that was happening. We talked about things that happened in our life, but we also talked about the technical snafu that happened like a half an hour before we were supposed to get going. So things like that.
Preparation.
Right.
Otherwise, can you imagine? I would be bald by now because I would have been pulling out my hair. You know, we all would have been like that. So, so I really appreciate you guys being in Small Changes Are Huge today on April 15th. Any last pieces of information? I want 2 pieces of information, one from each of you. So tell me a little something you want to leave people with.
The first there.
Well, Crystal, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. Now, you did ask me for a favorite quote, and I sent it along.
I got it.
Did you get it?
Yes, I got it. So I'm going to just 1 second. I'm just going to take over the screen. And I like this quote too, Annie. I've heard it before, and it's actually a beautiful, beautiful quote. You guys can see it, correct?
No, we're only seeing the back of a tablet. Because
oh, that's right. That's right.
Well, you've been watching a tiny little white dot this entire time.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this quote actually says, courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow. I think, Annie, I will try again tomorrow. I think that's just so beautiful.
That's been a very, very powerful quote for me quite a few different times in my life, because it's exactly what it says. You know, sometimes real courage is just like, as you say, the small changes, because you know, if there's a gap of time in your life where you're struggling with something, you're not necessarily going to go from circumstances not being good to, oh, everything's wonderful. Mm-hmm. So just recognizing, I'm going to appreciate this, I'm going to appreciate this, I'm going to appreciate this. And that's the courage. You know, it doesn't have to be that you won a marathon or did something amazing. You know, it's just have the courage to keep taking the next step. Mm-hmm. I love that quote. And the one you started with the niece Nin, that's been an all-time favorite of mine.
Yeah, it's a beautiful quote. And yeah, this whole thinking, like I said, you guys are doing a movement. You're starting a movement with You Never Know. I want one with Small Changes Are Huge, because you never know, guys. You never know. That's right. You never know. So Just a couple of things to, here's that quote again. And remember, the PowerPoint, link to the PowerPoint is going to be in the YouTube comments for everyone. And you'll be seeing an announcement about the group called Small Changes Are Huge. We've got all the 5 days of a week for interactive conversation with the groups, and I'll be telling everybody about that in the next week or so. And I just want everyone to know the next Google Hangout is going to be on Wednesday, May 6th. I'm very excited because normally it would be 2 more weeks, but I'm actually coaching in Florida, in Miami. Don't anybody be jealous, but that's where I'm going to be for a couple of days, and it'll be right around that Wednesday and Thursday. So I'll see everyone in May. And for right now, I want to just say thank you to everybody who is on. The Small Changes Are Huge. Here's Annie Gambina and Wally Collins. And remember, you never know, guys. So everybody, thank you so much for being a part of the Small Changes Are Huge. Today is April 15th, 2015. Thank you so much, Annie and Wally. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Guys. Okay, everybody, have a good week. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Adios.